How's it going in Tallahassee?
It's going. It's going. It's the World Cup, and Haiti's playing today, actually, with
Hey!
Brazil. If you know, um,
Oh, that's
that's gonna be
fun.
a fun game. Haiti will usually support Brazil during the World Cup. Now they are playing Brazil, so it's gonna be a fun, interesting game to watch today. So
That'll be
super
fun.
excited.
That'll be fun. Do you have big plans when we're gonna go see the game?
Probably not. The weather doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look good, so I might stay inside and watch it myself.
The room adjacent to my kitchen is the one.
Right, right.
Yeah,
That's where I will be.
I'll be
But I'm
viewing with
excited. I'm
them.
gonna have so much fun watching this game. It's gonna be fire.
Incredible, incredible. This month as well. What month? We're in June.
We're in June,
Ah,
yes.
never mind. Where are we?
I know, I know.
So June, Pride Month, as well as Mental Health Awareness Month for the men's,
For the guys,
for the
yes, yes,
guys,
yes.
guys. And hey, we found out in our last podcast, the guys are listening. So,
They're listening. I was
so,
surprised. Well, not surprised, but
but a
you know,
little, but like, yeah, I was like, I
and
don't
they're
know.
asking questions too. So that
Yeah,
was it was more not the listening part, it was the engagement part from the guys.
for sure. For
So
sure.
yeah,
Well, we should have issued a public apology. We did do this in our caption. We're on a learning curve here.
that is true.
If you listened on Spotify, that first episode, that open, it's a journey. It's kind of like a car crash, right? Like
Yes.
it's
What did we say
happening,
again?
it's happening, you're in the middle, you're not sure what's going on, but then you made it through.
That
So
is true. I don't even
so
remember what we said, but
we
yeah,
were really excited, and then our audio was like battling it out like the Hunger Games. And so it was a car crash.
yeah.
But those who stuck with us, we thank you. We're so happy to have you here. I'm also working on talking to the camera, not to Bestito's face, which I just went back to. So stick with us, kids. Stick with us.
You see, we are new to this, y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm a people person, and sometimes it's hard for me to look at the camera as well. But we're learning. We're in a journey together. We're not looking for
Yeah.
perfection. We're just
Progress.
having a good time.
Progress, not perfection.
Progress,
Progress,
exactly.
not perfection. As I'm staring deeply into your eyes. Uh, yeah, the bad part is music videos, film, television producer, and I'm like, what do we do? I can do it
What do we
behind the
do?
camera, but in front of, we're still figuring it out.
It looks different. That's true.
What
That's
are
true.
we talking about today?
Today is a very, very, very interesting topic, and I'm super, super excited to see where we take it because we never know where we're gonna take the conversation. But the topic of today is who did you become to survive?
Oh,
That, my dear friend, is deep, and I'm excited for us to talk about it.
so yeah, that's a real surface conversation.
You think so? I think that's super deep.
I want to see if you can hear my sarcasm.
Oh, sometimes I'm still, yeah, sometimes I still
After
get
10
used
years.
to. After 10 years, she always gets me. She always get me. Like, yeah. I'm
I
gonna
think
get it one day. I'm gonna get it one day. You're right.
I think it's also because our working relationship, I will bring the sarcasm into all types of situations, and
All
she
type
doesn't
of
know,
places.
am I supposed to laugh in front of these 22 other board members where was that, I don't,
Yeah,
usually,
that's my life. And sometimes it's in the most unhinged places. And I'm like,
correct.
what is it? Are we professional? Are we kiki kakain? What's going on?
It's just that beautiful intersection.
That
It's a
is
beautiful
true.
intersection.
I'm gonna
It's
get there
beautiful.
though. After 10 years, I'm gonna get there. Don't worry. Don't
Listen, life's a
worry.
journey.
It is a journey indeed.
A journey.
So
Okay.
you know me, I'm always quick to jump back to topic. So I always think like, do you ever wonder how much of your personality was survival?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we just hit it on the head, like in regards to, I always lean to humor,
Yeah,
and so that personality component of being a person that operates with resilient
yeah,
humor and being a fighter.
yeah.
And I've noticed too, I was having this conversation actually yesterday with a dear friend, and she just turned 80. I like to keep my
Ooh,
friends with a
thank
lot
you.
of wisdom, because learn a lot. And she said to me, she was like, Ashley, I just think about a lot, what you've been through and how you've overcome. She's like, how can you, want to care for people the way that you do now? She was like,
Mhm.
is it because you're a survivor? And then of course I heard, I'm a,
Right.
which was, but it was like, yeah, I think, I think so. But really, it's that, and I think we talked about this on the last episode. The personality component for me that has been such a life saving survival tool in the toolkit is most definitely humor.
Yeah.
What about for you?
I think because survival mode changed people, and I think I had to perform to survive.
Sure.
I don't even recall what version that I am of myself.
Mm,
It took me, I think, the last 2 years that I started to really learn who I am. But a
yeah.
lot of it, I feel like it was performance because I wanted to survive. And those versions are basically like a blur to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's in the moment what I needed, how I needed it to survive. And now really trying to separate what version of me was real or were any of them were real. And I think I'm still learning, I'm still navigating those spaces. But I think the last 2 years has been a personal journey to figure out who I am. I think
Yeah.
humor plays a huge role, even in college. Um, People will call me JJ, the one who makes the jokes, but a lot of it felt like I was performing because I feel like I had to perform for people. I had to be funny for people to want me around, for people to invite me, right? And as you get older, it's just like if I sit still, if I don't say anything, if I be serious, will I get invited? Will they care? Will they check up on me, right?
Mm,
Why do I always have to find some way to bring humor for people to see me? And it took a long time to say if I stay quiet, who will remember, who will talk to me, who will reach out to me, right? And a lot of it was, I think it was survival, the entertainer in me, the way I
sure.
show up for people. Sometimes I'm like, I know I'm a kind person, but I cannot be this nice. A lot of it was out of survival, right?
Yeah.
To a point, it makes you question, do you even have a backbone? you
Mm.
know?
Oh, you
But
have
and
you
I do. I
have a
just
backbone.
right. I just didn't allow myself to see that part of me.
Yeah. That's so good. Thank you for sharing that, and it
Of
really
course.
resonates with me as well. And one thing I got very excited about, you talked about in college, I got a text from you this week. Are we not,
Yeah.
can we share about the news?
We
Or
can.
no,
We can
is it
share.
too, are we sharing
I
publicly?
mean, the world will find out.
So what was the text message I received this week of a screenshot of some very exciting news about you?
I think you take it there. No, I'm playing. I decided to pursue my master program at Florida State University. I think I have so much more to learn, so much more to give, especially with what I do, and I think I'm always a learner of
Yeah.
life, and I think this program is going to mold me and provide me a lot more opportunities. So I'm super excited, and I got accepted 2 days ago, right? It
Yeah.
was 2 days
Yeah.
ago. I got accepted. I'm super excited to start this fall. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun learning journey, and some of the podcasts I might bring some of the topic that I learn throughout this
Okay.
journey. So yeah, wish me luck. I'm excited.
It's gonna be absolutely incredible. I'm so excited for you, and it's so incredibly important to be a lifelong learner, and
Yeah,
you live that out so well.
thank you.
So well. I I gotta be honest, I'm struggle busting through this neuroscience certification.
I know you didn't even
Did
tell them about this. Tell
did you
them now.
did you see what I sent to you? I said,
Yes,
what in
I'm
the
not. My brain hurt now.
and I
So
said, who I'm not trying to become a brain surgeon. I'm just out here trying to understand, you know?
understand what's going on up there.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
tell
but
them a little bit of what you've been doing though.
so just working on better understanding because we're very much, and it's very important that the experts that deeply know this work and continue to understand this work, those are the ones that we are gleaning from, learning from, and making sure those resources and that understanding is available for all of us, right? And one of the things that I have been thinking about is wanting to work on a better understanding of one right now, neuroscience as well as positive psychology, which knowing it in theory, but really knowing it for me and my own care journey, and understanding my mental illnesses in a way that when moments happen, I have that knowledge in my head of what's happening scientifically and physically, regardless of the emotional aspect of it, because I am an emotional person.
Yes, an
So
empath.
so I got to I wanted help in how to navigate that, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be something that I don't know if I'll apply it professionally or solely I'm really doing it for selfishly for self to care for myself better.
Sometimes you need that too. You need to understand yourself in order to give everything you can to the work that you do. So it's not selfish. Maybe in the process it feels selfish, but it's a selfless journey to do so.
Well, I think it's also cool of even when I said that, it felt a little weird to say it, but then it also
Yeah.
felt really good to say it. Like I'm
Yeah.
selfishly learning this, like
For me,
so.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, like for it's for me. And then
Right.
if it, yeah, but I want to be very sensitive to that though.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for our experts and our SMEs that we work with, subject matter experts. For those that
Yeah.
don't know what an SME is, um, that now I got a little knowledge,
Right.
and now I'm gonna be like,
Now we're
but
making their job harder because now we have the
yeah,
harder questions, you know?
I have some questions here. Could
Right.
you please tell me here? So I'm excited. I am over my skis though, but also really reassured and convicted and confirmed in the work that we do
Exactly.
of how exciting it is that, we talk about being able to rewire your brain, like just seeing it from the lens of how I'm learning at this different more on the science level of it
Right.
is really cool. Is really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
I
keep
think
sharing it with you.
Yeah, please do. Please do. It's very interesting to see. Sometimes, even when we first started working, I think one of the key word, I'm always gonna repeat some of the things that I learned from you over the years. One of the key things you always tell me, you can say the same thing, but how you reframe it make a big difference, right? And that when you said we wire, that's the part of the brain, right? You can
Yeah.
say the sky is blue, but the way you say the sky is blue can make a big difference. The way you frame things, make a
Yeah.
big difference. So I'm super excited to continue learning while we're in this journey and
Yeah.
even for ourselves. And I think, like we said, it's best to pour into ourselves so we
Mhm.
can pour better into other people.
And
So
we can keep
good.
rowing together. Let's just
Keep
keep
growing together.
growing and
Yeah.
rowing and dragging and crawling
And
and,
crawling, running, whatever we
running,
gotta do,
perish.
sleeping, getting
I
some
am
rest.
I'm not parachuting. Okay.
No,
I'm
I'm
parachuting.
resting. I'm resting.
It's nap time. It's
I'll
nap
take a
time.
nap,
It's nap
thank
time.
you.
It's
But
nap
speaking
time.
of that, guys, I think Ashley has been a very humble person. She probably will never talk about what she does, who she is, person, a personal level or professional level. So, Ashley, broadly, I would say she is the CEO and chair of the organization Be Strong that we represent. And as a woman in this position, Ashley, I really want to ask, did success become an emotional protection for you? I really want to see in your perspective, your position as a woman.
Hmm.
Did success become an emotional protection for you? Or
Okay.
what is success for you even mean,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah, no, you should play back the tape of my face as you were going. I'm like, where are
I
we
know.
going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Yeah, so one more time on the question.
Did success become an emotional protection for you?
It's a very interesting and multi-layered
Hmm.
question. And then
Yeah.
thinking off the cuff, I think work has always been a form of protection and providing for myself. I started working at 12 because
Mm.
I knew that I wanted to be able to make decisions and advancements for myself and not to be limited by money, right? I always had an appetite to really like if I found something that I was very excited about, believe that it was something that and identify people that were also excited about it and then mobilize in that area. I remember I was talking yesterday, that same friend who I mentioned, and in the town that I'm from, there's this really big car dealership. Like it's like massive. And the guy who owns it, it's like he's really well known, right? Well, I was in third or fourth grade and we were selling fruit baskets for our holiday fundraiser, whatever.
Mhm.
Bestito, you already know.
Yeah, I do. I do.
I I needed to win that. Like I
Yeah.
needed to raise the most money, just needed to happen. And anyway, I was like, okay, well, I worked the neighborhood, all of that, but I was still behind on sales. And then there was all these commercials of this guy, and I was like, where's
Yeah.
this man live? Where's this man live? Found out where this man lived. My dad drove me, knocked on his door, and cold called and was like, this man, you you're making money obviously because you're selling
Right.
cars and you have commercials. Like, and this is like young me.
Right.
Sold him some fruit baskets, but my dad will talk about that often. That there was this element in me that always wanted to provide. And my family growing up, there were a lot of challenges when it came to finances. So I'm sure that as I was developing and witnessing and seeing and experiencing things, I didn't want to be in situations where I couldn't provide for my family
Yeah.
if they needed it. So I would definitely say work as a whole from the lens of being able to provide. That would be the protection. And then as I advanced in life, being a woman that worked in film financing, I was the only female broker that was at our firm and was the top broker at the firm. And I remember there would just be, what types of conversations could be had, what types of conversations couldn't be had. So that emotional element really got stripped away over time. And then I would be darned if I was in a situation where me being a woman was a reason that, oh, it was too
Yeah.
emotional, or we're not making
Mm.
emotional decisions. This is a business decision. So now this version of me that we are, right? And this version of
Right.
me at Be Strong is the most authentic version
Yeah.
of me. And which is I'm grateful for the journey of that. And I know we make jokes, but I know how to move in rooms, and I'll
Yeah.
feel out whether or not is this a moment to uh, fly and have some fun,
Yeah.
and or am I going to be a little bit more reserved or conservative or whatever it might be to ultimately get to the goal. But that element of, as a woman, that emotional component when it comes to work, it was ingrained in me that it's not welcome here.
Mm.
It's not welcome here. It makes you,
Mm.
all of the things that any woman who's listening to
Wow.
this knows, right? But
Yeah.
now I'm like, yes, I have all of the spectrum of emotions,
Right.
and they are welcome here, and they have a place here. They bring value, they bring wisdom, they bring insight. When we have team members that they're drawn to emotion of crying, I don't
Right.
care what your gender is.
Right.
If you're brought to emotion, now there's levels, right? There's levels.
It gets to a point.
I mean, sometimes when you open that door, we're like, this is not the fire check. Please talk to your therapist. Here's your
Right. Right. Right.
better help voucher. Here's someone you can talk to. But yeah, I hope I answered your question there. And I would want to hear from you on that. And as I say that, I'm thinking over the last 10 years and watching you. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear from you that same question of, did success become an emotional protection for you?
First, I think I really enjoy listening to your perspective on that response. And I think for me, I had the opportunity to see what success looked like for someone who had some similar experience as me. So it makes my process a bit easier. So I'm not sure if you had somebody prior to in your journey to do so. But for me, again, guys, we met when I was super young. I was super super young. So Ashley has always been an inspiration on what was possible for me. But to me, because of my past and imposter syndrome, I never, even till now, success is a complicated thing for me to say or even
Right.
acknowledge because I don't even know what that means for me, right? I feel successful when I know I'm making people happy.
Yeah.
But you can think of success, is it financial, right? What does that success look like or mean in that moment for me? But I think for me, whatever position or whatever I decide to do is because I never want to go back to what I've been through. So that emotional
That part.
protection of success is because of fear of never wanting to experience what I experienced before,
Yeah.
or maybe somebody who might have similar path as me. I want them to see what's possible. So that emotion or emotional protection is not only for me, for those behind me, those who are looking up to me, right? Those I
Mhm.
left behind. Um, so that has it's not even a protection, it's actually almost like a fear. Sometimes it keeps me up at
Yeah.
night. It's just I can't give up. I work so hard and I made it this far and I can't just stop here, right? So beyond the protection, it's almost as a fear of
Mhm.
I cannot let up now, right? Or whatever
Well,
that is.
you've had a
Right,
responsibility your whole life. Well, as
right,
long as I've known you, you've
right,
had a responsibility of other people
right,
also. So I've always found it interesting to watch you move and all but have to arm wrestle to identify an opportunity to lean in, which
right,
now you've opened that door, which that should happen with trust that's been built over
right,
years. But I think about when you were still in high school and everyone was very excited of all of the scholarships and the Harvard and the this and the that and da da da. But the concerns that you had were the responsibility of taking care of other family members
right.
and things of that nature where we won't go, that's your business. But you know where I'm going there, that like
Yeah,
this season of your life, I think it's kind of opposite for me, where when
right,
I was your age, I was on my own, living in LA, doing
right.
what I was doing. My responsibility was me and my dog, which I lost, which hopefully
Yeah,
that dog is, hopefully that dog, bless that dog. I don't know
yeah,
how you
bless
feel
her
about
heart.
dogs, but bless that
Yeah,
dog. But you at that age, you had a responsibility of like a full grown woman.
right.
So it has that kind of dichotomy. You're like flipped in that. So your
I
your
literally
cells in your
flipped on
brain
that,
was
right?
developed with
Right,
responsibility. Like your career and your advancement also had to be based on others versus like most people build to that point. You were doing it
right.
as a young person.
That's a good point. And like you said, like it's reverse. So now
Yeah.
I'm at this stage, it's just like that emotional protection is only for me. That's when
Right.
my selfishness comes in because I've done that when I was 15. I done that when I was 14 years old, taking
Right.
care of people who were supposed to take care of me.
Right.
Right. So that success, it was something I needed to work towards and it become my emotional protection. Now, this is the only thing that I have to protect me.
Mm.
So I become selfish with where I am, the type of space that I create for myself, the type of people that are around me and surrounding me. Even if sometimes that makes me look like I'm not a great family member, but I was doing it when I was 14, when I was 15. So
And when
this
you were
can be a whole
16,
segment for
when you were
itself,
16,
right?
when you were 17, when you were 18, when you were 19, when you were 20, you know, uh,
Exactly.
and I will tell you, you watching you and the moments and the things that you have accomplished and seeing your success as someone that's sitting in the bleachers cheering you on, that has been a pain point of like, well,
Yeah,
dang it, she can't even celebrate that
yeah,
victory of you reached this point from an
right,
income level, right? Let's talk
right,
about just like from a
right,
salary perspective. Well, it
right,
doesn't feel that way because you have a responsibility of all of these other individuals. So I'm really
right.
proud of you for prioritizing yourself. I'm also proud of you for what you did during the time with the information that you had and doing the best that you could with what you had.
But what I
Um,
had, right, right.
and so to now, where yes, you are successful,
Yeah,
my dear friend.
yeah,
And not only because you are an incredible survivor, but now we've transitioned into surviving, for you. And it makes me think of that dream,
yeah,
and where it's like, which now is like I'm reading in, but not, of like when looking at you, of like the go is
yeah,
because I see that in you now.
yeah,
I see it in you now in a way that is really special and such an honor to be able to see.
Thank you, my dear friend. It has been a challenge, right? Like
Mhm.
coming from survival mode into just exist, and that guilt of just existing has been a very, very tough journey.
Sure.
And feeling like no matter how much I have gave in the past, it feel like now I should never let go, right? I should have
Mm.
never let go, and now that just taking care of yourself and pouring into yourself sometimes can feel a bit, you know,
Yeah.
selfish
Odd.
and sometimes
Yeah.
self and odd, right?
Yeah. It does.
Um,
It does. What
right.
parts of yourself through this journey do you think that you're rediscovering?
Ooh. I think I just hate it in
Yeah.
my previous answer. I'm just existing now. I am tired. I'm rediscovering who JJ is, not for other people.
Come on.
I'm trying to, when you were younger, you
Hmm.
just was on your phone or whatever you had and you didn't want to go to sleep. Now I'm just rediscovering the rest. I want to sleep. I want to really enjoy a good meal and really feel myself, not running for myself. And I think even looking at myself in the mirror, there was a lot of remorse on
Mm.
what I should have done, what I could have done. But I think right now is appreciating the 14 years old version of me, the 13 years old version of me who didn't have any resources that she needed to survive, right?
Right.
And now really rediscovering how beautiful, how amazing, how strong of a person that she is and embracing her, right? Embracing her, not put too much, giving her grace. And I think that has been a beautiful journey to watch myself, really watch myself and love myself. So, yeah. What about you?
Oh man. I I don't know on that rediscover is an
Right.
interesting word because I
Because it means
feel
that you had discovered it before. You're right.
right.
Come on,
I'm
somebody.
like,
Come on.
but it's like, did I?
Yeah.
And I think I'm more in the lane of with you of that there is now the space to
Yeah.
actually meet and
Hmm.
develop who she is without all of the other things, right?
Come on,
Like
somebody.
when you said, enjoy a meal, it's because I understand what you mean when you
Yeah.
say that of the level of responsibility,
Right.
right? And can I enjoy this while all of those things, so I'm in the lane with you of, you know, discovering
Right. Not
who,
rediscover because we
right.
didn't know it either, you know?
And quite
I'm
frankly,
with
the
you
things
on
we
that.
discovered back then, we will keep them back. They can
Right.
stay. You can
Right. Right.
stay back there. Stay back there. Um, how on that side? So the next question I have for you
Okay.
is, what does emotional safety look
Oh,
like
girl, you're just throwing
for
things
you?
at me.
Oh, I have the questions that I have for you. You played me on the
You
first episode, so
so
I
you said
came
I'm
ready.
coming.
I came ready, locked and loaded. I am. You don't. And I'm crawling here.
And you nice. It's like one after one. Okay. What does emotional safety feel like now for me? Wow, that's a good one. The other day I was watching a video either on TikTok or Instagram that talk about um one time that guy he had a close friend and that
Okay.
close friend called him or sent him multiple text message and he didn't see it or probably was distracted and missed it, right?
Right.
And then when they end up getting in contact, the person say, I needed you, right?
Mm,
I needed you and you didn't answer. But he was like, there was no signal for me to realize what you needed, right?
mm-hmm,
And since then they share a little code that says it only take 8 minutes, right? It take 8 minutes to
mm-hmm,
to be there for somebody. So that become their code word. 8 minutes. Do you have 8 minutes for me? Right.
Okay.
So to me, to go back to that is that emotional safety for me is having a support system where I can be, do you have 8 minutes for me? Do you have a little time for me to talk?
Mhm.
Usually I've been so used on figure it out on my own.
Sure.
And it's a heavy thing. At some point, you don't realize how heavy it is until it become one thing, two things, three things that you're trying to figure out and navigate by
And then
yourself.
you're like, that's way more than 8 minutes.
That
So
way
let
more
me
than eight
just
minutes,
put that
right?
in a bottle and yeah.
Exactly. And then it
Mhm.
becomes heavier and heavier and heavier.
Mhm.
So it's really leaning in my community and not feel bad to inconvenience the people that say they
Yeah.
care about me.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't feel bad for them to inconvenience me, right?
Yeah.
Being willing to reach out for help and not feel bad about it
Yeah.
and have a community who makes me know that they are there for me. To me, that's the safety, that's the emotional safety that I needed because I never had that, and it's still hard now. Sometimes I will write a long paragraph. I'm like, that's too much. I don't know if that person has space for me to just drop all that,
And then
right?
you're like, did you guys want sandwiches or
Right,
wraps for
literally,
lunch?
anybody want
Right.
to hang out? How's everybody day going?
Do you
But
need
that
me to bring ice or yeah, it's too much.
Right, that's
Yeah.
the match.
Yeah.
But we're still learning. As somebody who've been hyper independent my whole life, and I didn't have
Yeah.
anybody to really, really, really care for beyond how are you, and for them to hear that I'm fine and they move on. Now to really what we talked about earlier, we framing, right? Or we wire my brain. When somebody say how I am, you better be ready for me to give you a long response now. Because if I'm not fine, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. But what I've learned to for myself in my little reading that I've been doing, you ask me how I am, do you have
She's
space
a
to hear
reader.
it?
She's a
And I
reader.
am a reader.
She's
So
a
now
reader.
what I've learned, when someone asks me how I am, now I'm gonna ask you, do you have space to really listen? And
Mm,
that will
that's
allow me,
good. That's
right,
good.
that will allow me to know how I enter that conversation. And my dear friend, that has been life changer.
That's
For me,
awesome.
I'm saying life changer. I've been doing it for 3 weeks, y'all. So,
The life the life has changed.
it's changed.
What do they
But to
say? You have to
actually
do something 6 times for it to become a habit?
to become a habit, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's nice for somebody to say, yeah, I have time, come on, and then watch them drop everything to listen rather than
Yeah.
me assuming that they are listening or assuming that they have space. So now I make it clear, create my boundary with them and say, you ask me how I am, now do you have space to actually hear how I am?
That's very
So
good.
that has been wonderful, and I think that's what emotional safety feel like for me to be strong in my boundaries, and
Mhm.
also communication to
Mhm.
talk
Mhm.
about things that I typically will hide and think that people don't care. I'm somebody, sometimes I lean super heavy in assumption, and
Oh,
I'm
of
learning
course.
not
Yeah.
to
That
assume,
was the note that I took is I had
right?
two friends just this week, very, very close friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And life is lifing for
Right.
for everyone.
Thank
But
you.
both of them, and I'm wondering if you're seeing this too. So this like insurgence of people talking about mental health, and I am so tired, even though we're here with microphones.
Right.
But let's be very clear, is that these people be acting like they're mental health professionals and they are not using clinical language when you need to pull that all the way back. We
Right.
need to stop self-diagnosing. We need to stop diagnosing our families and the people that we're around. It
I
is
agree.
dangerous. That is some dangerous, dangerous behavior. But I'm seeing that and I'm wondering if there's a correlation with these two friends specifically after they shared what was going on
Right.
with them and just needing to be able to share it. They were like, I'm so sorry with everything you have going on. And then usually I was like, I'm trauma dumping. I'm da da da. And it's like, no, we're just sharing. So I
We're
really
just
want to get to a
sharing.
place where like, I feel like before we talked about mental health so much, we maybe shared
Yeah.
more, but then it's gotten into this like,
We
okay,
throw
is
in
this
those
a
clinical
clinical?
words.
Yeah,
Right.
like, is this a
Right.
clinical? And trauma dumping, to the people with actual letters behind their names are like, well,
Right.
that's just, you're just sharing. You're
Just sharing.
sharing. And
And we
and
shouldn't
that's what
feel guilty
friendship
sharing, right? We shouldn't feel
that's right.
guilty to just share.
And that's what friendship is for. So
Right.
let us not forget. And then where your lesson here is so tangible and profound is saying, "Hey, it's been one. Uh, do you have the capacity right now to really listen?" you
Right.
said it way more eloquently, but that level set, okay, cool. If not, let's connect later.
Right.
I have a good
Mm,
friend. She's really
right.
good about, I'd really love to have a phone call. And then I'm like, I am not able to have a phone call right now. Cause sometimes, Jesula, I really, when it reaches a certain point, and it's not like for me at this stage of bearing,
Yeah.
bear, I'm, I don't know
I
if I can,
get it.
I
I
don't
get
say,
it.
I don't know if I can say that word. Bearing. We all know, like, I'm not
We know.
there.
We know
I'm not
what you're trying to say.
stuffing it down.
Right.
I'm not not stuffing it down. I'm
Up
just
and down.
I'm processing. I'm
Yeah.
processing, and that is one of my, I'm processing, working through, and that for me is an emotional safety component. Is that aspect of I don't, just because I'm going through something doesn't mean I really even want to talk about it.
Talk about it. Right.
And
But
maybe
do
when I get
you do okay? I have a follow up with that. When you are
okay,
processing, how difficult it is to bring that back, or do you just not talk about it? Sometimes it's hard for me. I tell myself that I'm processing, and it become isolation. Because
sure,
by the time I'm done processes, I'm like, yeah, everybody should be over it by then. So I'm not
right.
gonna bring that up. Do you think in your process
Not
you
maybe I'll
still
put my
find
lipstick
ways to
on.
bring it back up? Girl, do what you gotta do.
All right.
But do you think in your process time you allow yourself space to bring it back up, or do you just not talk about it afterwards?
My hope is that if I'm saying I don't want to self, I don't want to talk about this, like my husband, and Matt's wonderful.
Hmm.
We love Matt.
We love Matt.
There's a lot that, he is my partner. We work together, we live together, and there's a lot that I'll navigate and carrying and working through a lot of the people in our lives on the emotional side
Right,
where that's not baby boo's strong suit.
right.
Now, if you need a fence built or some carpentry or something fixed, that is the person to call. But I carry a lot of that, and some things I'll share, some things I won't. And then for me personally, if I'm saying I'm processing, and if I've processed to the point where I'm through it, I'm not going back.
Mm,
And so if you come to me and you're like, "Hey, I remember last week, you wanted to chat about something or da da da, but I wasn't available. Do you want to chat about it now?" If I've processed through it,
you like nah.
I'm not
Mm,
opening it back up. I'm gonna keep moving in the direction. Now,
mm,
life is lifing, so by that time I might have something new. But
right.
for me, ultimately, to process is not for the goal to process to reach a point to talk about it. Hopefully, the goal is as I continue to develop skills of how to manage and navigate things, is that once I get through that process, we're moving in the direction of what the goal is.
So I'm gonna keep having follow up with that because I really like this where we're going. Then how do loved one know how to show up for you if you figure out the tools to process on your own? I
Yeah.
can imagine in the other side as a friend, as a partner. How do you think they will feel on how to show up for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, my mom will be the first one to tell you that she could ask me a lot about
Yeah,
what's going on, and I'm like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
keep moving, keep moving." Like we talked about
yeah,
last time, I really enjoy the I'm fine. Um, if I'm in that place, that for people to
yeah,
show up for me, that's still something that I'm trying
yeah,
to develop. Matt does
yeah,
such a good job in consistent acts. That for
yeah,
me is that for me, and like showing up for me could be sending me funny memes
yeah,
and like, you know, all the videos of send this to your bestie who da da
yeah,
da, da, right? Like that stuff for me feeds my soul in
yeah,
ways that I need. And I think it's because Be Strong has done such a good job of, and I am so up on the Kool-Aid sauce that I really want to be able to talk to my friends from a place of sharing, but not from
right,
a place of solution.
right,
So I'm going to be on guard for, and I also do not respond well to when I'm like, hey, this is a situation going on and it's met with this gravitas emotion of like, oh
right,
my gosh, how,
yeah.
that's,
Yes, I'm just sharing. I'm not
yeah, I
expecting.
don't,
Right, right.
right. Like, I don't need you to, like,
Yeah,
oh, this was, okay. So, example, I posted a couple weeks ago. So I had oral surgery on one side, as you know, and I'm going to do the other
Yeah.
side on Monday. So I posted this, what I thought was going to be funny.
Right.
You know me.
I know you.
So I had said to my oral surgeon that, he was like, it's going to be great. We're going to do a great job. I've never had, other than like my teeth cleaned, never had a
Yeah.
cavity come out.
Come on, somebody.
Brushing my teeth. Floss, y'all. Floss.
Floss.
So I had said to him, that I was hopeful, he was going to do a good job, because the last time I had something like that was a piece of string, a garage door, and my dad slamming the garage door to like pull a tooth. And I said that it was effective. It ended with a sweet little treat. It was great. Oh
Right.
my gosh. I posted it and I was laughing and thought people would resonate, of like, I thought other people, like when you had a loose tooth, that was how it
Right.
was done,
Right.
And no, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I hope the surgery goes well. I hope da 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 da. And
Oh
and
my
then I
God, I just wanted to laugh. It
I was
was a
like,
joke.
I was cracking up, and then I took it down because I was like, that's not what
Right. The goal was.
the goal was. Ha ha ha. Y'all remember when our
Yeah.
parents,
Yeah.
which I hope it still happens today. It worked really well. You just
It
put the
worked. I've
string on
done
that.
it. I've done it myself when, yeah.
And she said myself. And that
Yeah.
garage, we did it with the garage door. And you didn't even feel the tooth because the
It was
garage door
ready.
shook the whole garage. So it's like, and we're done. Sweet treat time.
Literally.
So anyway, to that of like, I digress, after a deep dive of where I still navigate that, of where and how. And then also, social is so performative, not to
Yeah,
say
you
that.
don't know how people are gonna interpret anything nowadays.
Well, and
Yeah.
also it's like random people who you haven't really heard from. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you have surgery. I hope it
Yeah.
goes well. And then I take it down that you have the surgery, and then nobody's like, how was your surgery? Can I,
Right.
do
Right.
you need it? So, but yeah, I like being independent. It does feel safer to me with the correct care team,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
yeah, and I think that's exactly what I wanted our audience to hear. Sometimes the person or your team or your community, all you need is them to be there, right? We don't have to
Sure.
complicate the things. Like you said, it can be just a meme. It can be just you listening, just call and listen, or knowing that if you call, you're gonna pick up. It doesn't, it's that idea. It's just I know my care team, I know my community is here for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we overthink it to the point we start making it about ourselves,
Sure.
right? Not the
Sure.
person going through what
Yeah.
they're going through, because we feel like we have to be the savior. We have to find the
So right.
solution while they just need you to be there. And not make it feel weird, just because I share something, like you don't need to make it feel weird, right? Like, let
Yeah.
me process, give me the time. I know you care for me, and however you were showing up, keep doing that in an authentic way. And for me, that's something that I'm learning as well. It's just that sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough as a friend, I'm not doing enough as a partner, right? What can I do? But it's just like, you got to trust the people around you too to
Correct.
open up to you, and when they fall you catch. You don't have to always be ready to catch when they don't want to be catched, right?
That's good.
So be ready whenever they want you to. You don't have to overperform it. You don't have to find the solution. Just be there. And it's hard because I'm a fixer, I'm an empath, and I just want to take whatever it is away from people. But really being able to step back, even earlier when you asked me, right? I'm like, I'm taking a step, I'm gonna show up how they want me to show up for them.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the act of sometimes too, I feel like sometimes the greatest act, and they say this too, it's like just to do. And when to do is not to be the solution to me. So
Right.
what I
Right.
mean by that is, if my friend says that they're hungry,
Yeah.
I'm going to send food
Right.
if I can, right? If my friend says, my girlfriend Sam, she's so good with this. Like, was really going through something. She was traveling. We didn't have the time to really lock in, and showed up at my house. Like, she knows I love all different lights and aesthetics and stuff. So she sent me this really cool light to put in the bathroom, and then this bath eucalyptus salt that was literally was like the most amazing one I've ever had. beautiful card, not coming through with like, oh my gosh, let me fix the problem. To your
Right.
point, we can show love to one another
Right.
and say, hey, proof of life of like, hey, listen, this is me. I'm here, but not because where I start to pull back is like, hey, that thing that was going on, or hey, da da da. So
Right.
would I'm trying to do that more in my own life of where I know something's going on, send the memes, send the ice cream, send the little special moment, and let them know that you love and you care, but
Yeah.
not have to, go into what that particular thing is, which leads to my next question.
You already.
Okay, I'm gonna, because we're getting there on the time because we're jibber jabbers.
We are
Um,
jobber today, and I love it too. It's a good
I
topic.
do
It's good
too.
stuff.
I do too. What I'm gonna do is I've got one last question for you, but it's gonna
Okay.
be a double stack. Okay.
Okay.
So what it is, my question for you is layered, right? What helped
Mhm.
you soften after
Ooh.
survival mode? And so slash, how do you reconnect to joy?
Ooh.
Answer that however, which way, whatever. So that first part of it is how did you soften, which is such a weird word. Soften after survival mode. How did you? And then how do you reconnect to joy?
I think earlier I said the past 2 years I've been in my soft girl era,
Yeah.
like really practicing um not having to move through life with so much anxiety, with so much anger, but really romanticize everything, right?
Mm,
Take my time, smell the roses, enjoy, talk to people, and really not be in my head so much, right? And
sure.
really being soft, like the definition of soft as a woman, I feel like I always have to protect myself so I don't get hurt. But I'm in the stage, I'm human, I might get hurt, but
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
bounce
hurt. It's
back,
gonna
right?
happen.
And I'm gonna bounce back and I'm not gonna harden my heart because of past experiences or what I've been through. So allowing myself to navigate and move through life with flow state, with flow emotion, and just flow into the world by just being as kind, just by being as happy as I can, is I think that's how I navigate. It's because I know how it felt like to really put walls up and not let people in, not let happiness in, not let joy in. And I'm at the space I want to navigate with softness. I want to enjoy, I want to romanticize everything that I know that I didn't have, right? And now really enjoying that process.
Two
And your
things
next
that's
question,
super interesting about
yeah,
that. One is what I feel when you say that, and like the visual and the audio I hear is you're freely moving about the cabin, right?
yeah,
It's like when we're in the plane, and
yeah,
then the captain says, you know, you can freely move.
yeah,
That's what I feel when you say that. I also find it interesting that the last 2 years have been professionally, a heavy, heavy lift for you. I know with your work with students, in multiple different channels, as well as the response to the needs of people. So,
right,
and how that's increased in our work together of how just, the doors are blowing off on Be Strong in regards to the support and helping individuals. And when I say blowing off, that's in a way that we built it for a
yeah,
time,
yeah,
and it was built for a time such as this to be a support. It is heartbreaking the amount of people, but we are grateful that there is help that's there for them. But I find that interesting that I know for me, Be Strong has had me prioritize things
yeah,
and seeing through the lens and having relationships with, at different levels of thousands of different people, which wasn't what the case was,
right,
even
right,
professionally before. If it was a very professional dynamic.
yeah,
Um, but I think that that's really interesting. That I
yeah,
know for me, Be Strong has, I almost said forced, um, but I think because we're authentic people that like we're
right.
not gonna go and tell others to like here's something that could help you,
We've
and
experienced it ourselves. We've done it. We've done the work,
we're
right?
not applying
Right.
that. But it's really admirable because I know how much behind the scenes you've had on your
Yeah.
plate that that's the time that you say, okay,
Yeah.
it's time.
Yeah. And the other part of your question, you say, how do I reconnect to joy? And I think
Yeah.
I wanna reframe that because I don't think I've never even connected to joy, but I think
Mm,
I'm choosing joy right now. I'm at a stage in my life where I'm choosing that joy. I'm choosing that happiness. I don't think I've ever allow myself to feel the joy, to connect with the joy, but now I'm choosing that. I'm in that, like I said earlier, trying to flow with that emotion that I am in, and embracing everything that I've worked so hard for.
yeah.
And once you move with that, the work that you do, like you said, we're not just saying it. It's just like I'm literally doing the work with you, and this is what that work look like, and it becomes so people can actually feel it. Now, I'm not telling you, I'm not throwing things at you. This is what it feels like. This is what it looks like, and I'm
Mm.
sharing that with you, right? So yeah,
And that kind of
I
connects back to the survivor
exactly. Hmm.
element because
We discover, just like we discover it if we didn't discover it yet, right?
yeah, that you surviving looks different at different
Yeah,
seasons of life.
yeah,
And like now surviving means choosing to romanticize the
yeah,
smallest to the biggest moments and
yeah,
and I think back, there was a time where at Be Strong in the early days, we were really, really struggling to gain support. And it's still something of where people talk about mental health and talk about the importance of it and things must change and all of this. But the level of people that financially support the work, not just with our organization, but across the sector,
right,
it's a limited group of individuals, companies, foundations, etc. We're hopeful to continue to see a increase in that. But
right.
I remember it was our partnership with DSW,
I remember
and
that very well.
this is public news. So we love DSW. They were the Amy Stevenson who and Jonica Armstrong are both on our advisory board.
Yeah,
They do different work now, but these are titans to say the least that believed in our little small charity and the work that we were doing. Jonica really, Be Strong has been able to save and improve so many lives
I agree.
because of her willingness to understand and advocate internally there with the team. And then Amy, as the CMO. And I remember we were there meeting and felt like the partnership was going to happen. And they had chosen Be Strong as one of their
Yeah,
corporate social responsibility organizations. And I remember being in that meeting and how Amy was just she's a she's a different type of CMO. We talk about
yeah,
this all the time.
yeah.
Like CMOs are typically like very jazz handsy. She has the most wonderful personality, but I would never guess that she's the CMO in a
Wow.
room. But anywho, she was, and I remember I had the feeling of like, this is gonna happen. This is really gonna happen. Well, time goes by. We receive um, what they had decided to do, and they had
Yeah.
made the decision to make the single largest contribution to the organization. And it wasn't only then, but it's till now. Now we've
Till
had other
now.
people have supported us over the years, but as
Right.
a singular partnership. And we received it, and we were overjoyed because of what that was going to be able to do,
Right.
but I couldn't feel that joy,
Mm.
right? I was saying it and I could see it in theory and all of that, right?
Right.
But they invited us to their headquarters to share with their employees as well as their shareholders what they had decided to do, as a company. We were there. Some of our Be Strong reps in Ohio came to meet me at the headquarters,
Mm.
and they were freaking so excited. Like these
Right.
these young people were like, "Oh my gosh." Well, we go up on stage and I look out and you see all of the employees. And in that moment was when I could feel that joy
Yeah.
because it went from emails and presentations and meetings to a sea of people that's what it's going to take.
Right.
That's what it's going to take. That I remember it was like I was so overtaken with
Yeah.
just this undeniable joy
Yeah.
that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And,
It
but
is happening. Right.
right, right. And so, in that lane of how to feel joy, I have found that over the years, I have to have myself in a situation where, to you, at like the beginning of the conversation, of as women specifically, and hello, our all gender audience, you're all
We
welcome.
are.
As women, we all have countless stories of you should smile more.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
smile. Why don't you smile more? You should
Mm.
smile when you present. The room will respond more if you smile,
Right.
but don't smile
Right.
too much because then it's
Right.
too emotional.
Right.
When I catch myself, I was in Florida, as you know, last week, and there was a
Yes.
friend who had worked with for years, and he was on his phone, and I'm gonna call him out by name, Nelson. He had we were on Instagram trying to do something on Instagram, and I saw his search page, and it was all this like random videos, like just like the most random. And if you know Nelson, it's like what, like brilliant entrepreneur, like, and not that like, but it was just like all of these dancing animals. Like it was literally like I was looking into. I'm like Nelson. I'm like, what? And he's like, I have no idea how it's happening. Just look, we laughed so hard.
Can be
We
very simple.
we
Right.
were crying. Me and this grown man, we were crying. I have not laughed and felt that level of genuine joy. And I loved it because one, it was in a professional setting. We were at an
Right.
event,
Right.
but to find it in the simplicity
Right.
and not performative,
Right.
not
Right.
because the room says to or your family
Right.
needs to see you smile, just laughing at something
Yeah.
was like, wow. I remember leaving, I was like, I have not felt that
In a
and I don't
long
know how long.
time.
So
Right.
to one of your beginning points of let us romanticize. Well, that was your
Right.
ladder, but at the beginning, let us romanticize the small things because that's probably where the joy lives. And we know that comparison is the greatest robber of any joy that we attempt to have. So
Yeah.
let it be in the little, let
I
us
love it.
romanticize and let us, because we need it. We need joy.
Let us. Yeah. I love
Thank you.
that. I love that. And I have one last thing that I would like for you to share with me in the audience. Um, when you shift from a survival mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
What version of ourselves should we look forward to?
Mm. And like, what if the goal is to evolve? Like,
Mm,
what if we never, like, what if the versions, like,
right,
like on, my deathbed, because I'll go before you, we'll be there and it'll be a whole new version,
right,
a
right.
long time from now, a very long time from now. But
Yeah.
like, I love
Ever changing.
curiosity. I love
Yeah,
curiosity, and having a sense of curiosity is
yeah,
like, we all know, I literally would only wear the color black. She's
yeah.
wearing purple,
Right.
right? Like,
That's a whole new version.
but right. So like, I think that for me is I'm looking forward to, in that same way we want to be lifelong learners in all aspects.
Yeah.
I'm open to learning because what Ashley 2000, 6 is not going to accept what
Right.
Ashley 2026 or
Sure.
46 is gonna
Right.
receive as something that's acceptable. And
That
I'm
is true.
excited. I'm excited for that. What about for you?
Uh, I think you I think you take all the words that I could share. I think we have this idea there is a point, right? There is a point of where we need to land. There is like all this work, all this journey, all this version of ourselves. There is a moment in time where it will stop. And I think it's
Mm,
ever changing, right? It's
come on.
ever changing. I think it's whatever version, it's embracing it, it's appreciating it. And I think the part about romanticize, whatever that version is, give her or him grace, right?
Yeah.
Give that version some grace and appreciate it. And I know goals are important, yes, but where you at in this moment, at this stage in life, I think it's important to slow down, appreciating, learning,
Yeah.
so the next version can know not to repeat the same thing. But it's there's never gonna be that ending, right? It's gonna be a new version, a new scenario, a new thing that we'll be learning. So
That's
yeah,
so good. That's so good.
yeah.
And I look forward to being on this journey with you.
Same.
With you. I want to hit you with this last question for our closing segment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We should have like a little bell for segments. We'll work on that, guys.
Bling,
Ooh. If you're
bling.
listening on Apple Music or Spotify, I can confirm for you that was a bell straight from Jesula. You
Yeah.
might have thought we hit one, but
Bling.
yeah, I knew it was coming again. I knew it was coming again. Okay. So this is a segment that we like to call the friend code. Okay. This okay.
You know, once I
Beethoven
get
over here.
started, I
You
can't stop, you know.
bring in the chimes. Okay. All right. So in this segment that we finally refer to as the friend code. So your friend is struggling. We've hit this
Mm.
throughout, but we're going to hit it. Your friend is struggling, clearly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The train is off the tracks.
Ooh,
The train is off the tracks, oh man. Yeah.
right.
And we're like, okay, this is happening. You go to friend.
Mm-hmm.
Friend. Um, if you were a train, you'd be off the tracks. Like, they're clearly struggling. They insist that they're fine. Do you push the issue?
Ooh, this feel like, you know what this feel like? It feels like after you went to school, you learn about a segment and the teacher say, here's a quiz. You see, how well were you listening or paying attention in class? That's how that
Do you
feels like.
actually believe what you said?
Right.
Right.
That's what that feels like. I think prior to this conversation that we had today, I
Mm-hmm.
would push to kind
Mm-hmm.
of get to the bottom or figure out how to be there. But I think after this conversation that we have, just know that I'm here.
Love them.
Whenever you want to fall, I'm here to catch you.
Love them.
Giving them the space to decompress and really find way to process those informations or whatever that emotion they're
Yeah.
feeling, but knowing that I'm here,
Yeah.
and not push it. And sometimes I think that when we over push it, it becomes irritating. It
Sure.
becomes too much,
That's right.
and you actually hurting more than you helping. But that was before that conversation that we have. I think, like I said, I'm a fixer. I think that I have to fix. I think I have
Yeah.
to find a solution. But I think as a great student and based on the conversation we had earlier, I think now I'm going to lean forward more to be a more of a listener and really understanding what they need at that moment and be there to catch, to listen and whatever that is, and be there for them without overwhelming them with my solution. Because at that moment, it's no longer about me, it's about them. So
That's so
how
good.
about
That's so
you?
good.
I wanna throw that back at you to see if I learn best or if that's what you'll do.
Well, you're the boss, so you always learn best. I agree. And this is in our checklist, right? The Be Strong checklist, guys. And
Yeah.
if as you're navigating supporting friends and how do we do that, Be Strong has some amazing checklists on how you navigate it. I regularly am using them. I regularly use the Be Strong app, Read Anonymous. You can get that on the Apple and Google Play Store. It's free.
For
Read
free?
Anonymous. I might
Oh,
have
the
just
free
said that. I
99.
like to say it a lot. It's all free 99.
Dang.
But a lot of times people say, well, people don't want something that's free. This is valuable free. Okay. But
Yeah.
to your point, I not to be the solution, but to be consistent in ensuring that they know I'm thinking about them.
Yeah.
I love them. Send them
Yeah.
with the memes. Send a little special little treat if I
Yeah.
can. Drop a little note in the mail because guys, human connection it can come in a host of ways that
Yes.
sometimes and maybe you guys have felt this before. When I'm going through something, you know, those little small acts of
Yeah.
knowing that I'm never alone are really what help open those doors and those comfortability. So I'm right there.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I would say
Awesome.
I'm not going to push where before in life I would have pushed.
Yeah.
Now stay consistent.
Stay consistent.
Stay
Yes.
consistent.
We
All
are
right.
learning
Well,
together.
listen, and I'm consistently here with you, and I will see you here. I know we do have to take a week off
We do.
from filming because, well, I won't be able to speak.
Right,
Which is
right. And I won't do this by myself, y'all. So we will take a week off and we'll see y'all.
well, I would be tuning. I would be tuning in for that. I could listen to you all day. I did the dentist said that I have a really strong jaw, and it works a
Oh,
lot. I be
thank you.
talking. I know.
We do a lot of talking.
Listen, it is. I be working. You know what I
We be
mean?
working since you
I
you
work.
you heard her people since she was 12. So
Right. Hustling. All right, guys. We hope that you have this will drop on Monday. So we hope that you had a wonderful weekend and looking forward to a wonderful week. And remember that there is an opportunity while we're in survival mode and how we navigate getting through survival. And quite frankly, I think we're all out here doing our best to survive with what we have. And always know that you're never alone and be strong is here. And we think you're awesome.
yes, you are indeed awesome. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate y'all. Let's keep romanticizing life and enjoy. Smell the roses, okay?
Just falling in love.
Fall in love with life.
Falling in love. Falling in love. All right.